Jess told me the other day, she's like, can we lower the ID.4? I'm like, done.
Again, by the way, we are selling way more EVs than any other car right now in this dealership.
Welcome once again to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome to Ed Carroll Motor Company. Hello, Colton.
Hey there.
This is Colton from Out of Spec Detailing. Subscribe if you like paint care. But, okay, well, we were just here a few weeks ago. We picked up an ID.4 video for Michaela. Are we kind of redoing that?
Yeah, we are. We are.
So you just bought an ID.4 for Jess, your wife, and there it is.
Identical spec to Michaela's.
Great. I think we have to answer our audience on a couple things. Why do we keep buying these things with all of the complaints about software? Mostly from us. We're the ones complaining about software. Yet we keep getting them. And we should let everyone know what's going on with this. We need to see Bob again on the inside. For those who didn't watch Michaela's delivery video, Bob is actually a YouTuber.
Yep.
An EV YouTuber who we're trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. He's so close, just a few hundred away. And Bob is buying a Tesla Model 3. He's buying a Mini Cooper SE. He has an e-tron GT, he has an ID.4. He's going all in. Bob's like, I just want to help people drive electric. So we're like, cool. Bob is who sells us all the ID.4s here at Ed Carroll. And so let's go and see Bob in just a moment and show us around your ID.4. What do you say?
Great.
All right, here we are. This is the new machine. And is it literally identical to Michaela's car?
I think it is. I don't know if she has the HomeLink mirror.
She does.
Okay, so I think it's identical. Yeah, absolutely love it. Pure gray. Now, as far as you detailing nerds, we're going to be doing a deep dive on this, doing its first wash. I asked Ed Carroll not to put a front plate on this, not to wash it. So this is like a factory car shipped to the dealership. They haven't touched it other than do some, PDI stuff, but nothing as far as detailing. So we're going to be doing a full video on that. Pure gray, in my experience, pain in the butt to maintain. So
interesting.
I hope I'm not going to regret owning this car.
It's a non-metallic?
Non-metallic, very soft paint. Yeah, going to be a little bit tricky. Nonetheless, love the color. Perfect spec for my wife.
Yeah, and honestly, let's talk about why did you choose the ID.4? Because we actually did a podcast on this on our podcast channel. Not to recommend our viewers to go to too many other channels.
Right.
But, we talked about, hey, you were looking at a Model 3 performance. You were looking at a Model Y performance. You were looking at this as well, EV6, Ioniq 5. What made you settle in on this, even though we already had one in the larger fam with Michaela's car?
Yeah, I think a lot of things came down to price point, availability, and just kind of like the whole network around here. So really was interested in a Model Y performance. A very similar experience, obviously, to my Model 3 dual motor. So Jess drove it quite a bit. She's like, I really, really like the Tesla, love the charging, love the software. But at the end of the day, she hopped in this and goes, this feels like my car. And for your knowledge, she had a 2021 Tiguan SE R-Line, looked amazing, horrible software, drives terrible in my opinion. So I was like, we need to have something electric for her. Her commute's like 4 miles a day, back and forth from home. So I'm like, 110 outlet in her garage, gonna be perfect. So yeah, that's really why we ended up going this route. I know a lot of people have asked me, why did you not get an Ioniq 5 EV6? I called around to all the dealerships and they're like, we're a year out. And I'm like, I'm not waiting, I need a car now.
Right, exactly. A year out, and for the equivalently spec'd car, sunroof, you can't even get massaging seats in those.
Yeah.
You're in deep into the $50,000 range, high 50s.
Yeah.
And this is low 50s.
Exactly.
So and because it's a US built car, Chattanooga, and you took delivery before the end of the year, you get 10 grand because $7,500 federal plus the Colorado state. I mean, in terms of value, that's why Michaela went for this. That's kind of why you're going for it. That's why a lot of our audience are going for it. I actually think Ed Carroll has a couple of them laying around over there. I don't know. They have a couple 2023s, I guess, still available. So definitely talk to Bob if you want one. But yeah, I mean, I think price-wise, you just can't beat this thing.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things I considered was, okay, so if I get into an Ioniq 5 and start having all these issues, I don't have a relationship with a dealership like Ed Carroll. So funny enough, I actually started my detailing business with Ed Carroll. So
right over there.
Yeah, years ago. So it's kind of like I know everybody here. Rick at Ed Carroll Volkswagen is just the greatest guy on the planet. And I reached out to him and he goes, yep, we can do this for you. So,
and the cool thing is everyone here drives electric. Rick, we just saw him at the EA station in his ID.4. Bob owns every electric car known to man.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's a really EV friendly place here. This is a Model 3 they have in inventory that Bob's actually buying.
Yeah.
And so like, it's just a cool, I would say car enthusiast place. They have a classic Beetle inside.
Yeah.
The people are nice. We know if we have issues, like Michaela's car had some software bugs already. We know we can just bring it here and get it serviced.
Exactly. And that was the biggest thing for me. It's, going to another dealership that you don't have any relationships at all. And it's like, okay, my car comes in, it's gone for 30 days. Do I have a loaner? How does this all work? I just like that kind of hometown feel of a dealership like this.
Sure, absolutely. So I think we owe our audience an explanation, which is software bugs. We keep complaining and we keep getting them. That's sort of the story here, right? Is the software bugs, are they enough to recommend not buying the vehicle? And we've already proven no, that's not the case, because we haven't seen many bugs that have prevented the car from actually driving. For Jess doing her commute to the hospital and back, or for Michaela doing the same. They actually work together,
yeah, they do.
which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see both ID4s parked next to each other at the hospital. But Michaela's car has the airbag warning light. It has some sensor lights for the sensors on the side of the vehicle. What is your impression of that? You've driven this for a few hours now. What's your impression, and why did that not stop you from buying it?
Software is one of those things that, and I was explaining this to my wife, is it's like, she goes, well, I don't really think I need the full Tesla experience of software. And I said, the hard part about that is you deal with it and interact with it every single day. So I think that is kind of tricky. On this car already, we've had the adaptive kind of cruise issue. Warnings come up, turned onto a main road, completely went away. This morning when I pulled up in here, screen just completely shut off. Music went off, climate went off, and I'm like, okay, so I put it into drive, the car still was driving. So I think, actually yesterday you put up a video on Twitter of your Tesla doing the same exact thing.
My Model 3 did the same thing. Screen crashed and then it woke itself back up after a few minutes, and this did the same. So I think software bugs are sort of unavoidable. I think no question Volkswagen stuff is buggier. I mean, you experienced in the Tiguan.
100%.
And really, I think Cariad is to blame. Their internal software division really needs to get their you-know-what together, because it's a bit unacceptable. But you should have software 3.1 on this. Should be identical to Michaela's car. Again, all-wheel drive, 300 horsepower, that Magna front motor, which is great. So shout out to Magna for sponsoring this video, as always. And take us on a tour of the car. So you asked them not to wash it.
Right. Yeah, that, in my opinion, is just the greatest way to take delivery of a vehicle, because we're not introducing scratches into it. I can actually see, and I'm excited to make a series on this is why new cars need polishing, because I've already looked over this thing and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of work for myself to do on this.
Sure.
But yeah, really the nicest way to take delivery of a car. I asked Bob to leave on some of the stickers just to show you guys that they have not done anything to this. If we pop inside, we have no mats in, and we've got all of the plastic still on here.
Oh,
I just
nice.
love it.
That is so cool. So you got the plastic on the floor, on the piano black trim over here.
On the screens as well, on the headrest. I mean,
Sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to point this out. You have 46 miles on this. When you took delivery last night, actually, it was a little too late to shoot a video. You had 2 miles on it.
Bob put 10 on it just to make sure everything was working. He said he likes to do that just to make sure, that cruise control is working. There's no sensors malfunctioning or anything like that. I think that's fantastic to do. So I think it had 12 when we picked it up.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. But at least when it arrived, it had 2 miles. It was shipped with 27% state of charge when it arrived. So the battery's been in a very healthy state. It hasn't been full charged.
Right.
Bob charged it to 50% for you.
Yep. And then last night we took it downtown Fort Collins, plugged it into, well, we went 2 places, but plugged it into a charge point and another charger over at Odell's.
Yep.
And it sat, I think we got up to 77%. Not planning on really full charging this ever, unless we're going on a big road trip, but it's going to sit right around 80 for daily use.
And you do get 3 years of 30-minute Electrify America charging, so make sure you plug in at 80% to get all the way to 100. You really got to embody the ID.4 owner here.
Every single time, I swear, that we go to an EA station, there's just ID.4 sitting at full charge, and it's like, come on, guys.
I know we really rag on ID.4 owners about it. I kind of feel bad because I was in the ID.4 Facebook group and they're like, oh, these guys keep, knocking us down and they give us a bad look. But like, just stop full charging your cars and we'll stop complaining.
It clogs up stations and there's no need for it.
Right. Very few. I mean, there's like a couple stations out there where maybe, but like everyone needs to full charge once in a while. Not in Loveland, Colorado.
Exactly.
We have stations in every direction.
Exactly.
Cool. So here we go. What's the name of the color?
This is pure gray. So actually they have changed this color, I believe, for 23. It used to be moonstone.
Right.
But it is actually a different color from what I understand. My brother actually has this on an Atlas Cross Sport. And yeah, I've detailed that. Very tricky color to maintain. So really, I hope I don't regret it. But
right. Well, we'll see a full out-of-spec detailing episode, pulling the stickers off of this thing, doing sort of a new car prep, if you will.
Exactly.
Properly. So huge shout out to Ed Carroll for not installing your front plate.
That's one of the biggest things. To me, I hate front plates. Colorado gets weird with it. You and I have talked about, you go down to Denver, street park, you're going to get a ticket for not having a front plate. To me, looks so much better.
I'll
probably
pay the
a lot
$50
more
or whatever it is.
Exactly. Probably a lot more aero efficient too, and just looks like 10 times better.
And speaking of aero efficiency, if we take a look at this older ID.4 over here, you'll notice this circular thing in the front bumper, which is known as a towing eye hook replacement. That's not the technical term, but that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
You don't have one of those because Michaela ran hers out of charge the other day, and I made a video on my personal channel about it, and we couldn't tow the damn thing. So I think we need to have some sort of recovery strap system that hooks onto the lower control arms, just in case you ever get stuck or anything like that. I think we'll come up with some kind of kit and recommend it to new ID.4 owners.
Yeah.
Because it's really important that you have a towing point. Now on the back, they actually recommend you tow it from the trailer hitch.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So there's two little points on the inside, but where we were located, where she ran out of charge, we would have had to driven the wrong way down a one-way on the busiest road in town.
Not an ideal solution.
No.
I don't know. To me, you got to have tow eyes in those. Front and rear.
Yeah, totally agree. I just can't believe they didn't put that in. A couple things feel a little bit cheap on this car.
Yeah, and a couple of things actually, in my opinion, feel like surprising for what you're paying for and then getting a lot of like really good features. Massage seats.
I know.
I told Jess last night, I was like, I wonder how long these seats are going to last because we just immediately get in and massage all the time. So yeah.
But warranty, you got 4 year, 50,000 miles or whatever it is until you have to worry about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so before we go inside and see Bob, everyone knows about the ID.4. They know the delivery process. Hopefully you watch Michaela's video.
Yep.
I'm curious, what are your plans with this? Because I know you're not one to leave your car stock.
No. Surprisingly, and I'm saying this like really surprisingly, Jess told me the other day, she's like, can we lower the ID.4? I'm like, done.
It's gonna look
She's
so
always
cool.
like, do not modify my stuff. I don't want anything messed with, but I think we're going to lower this. Maybe putting on RSQ8 wheels on this.
That would look so good. There is one out there, and it's a white one, and the dude's in the forums. I don't know his name, but if you just look up ID.4 on RSQ8 wheels, it'll pop up.
Insane.
Looks so good. So I think this car is going to have a bright future of some enhancements.
Yep.
Yeah, just can't wait to see it. Lay in pack is the the term you coined.
Yes, lay in pack. We're going to do H&R springs, so we're not going to go like full slam down, but I think it's around a 1.6 drop on it. Really need, so we're actually going to put some Nokians on this for winter time. This is going to be our winter wheel tire setup, and then we'll have a spring, summer, fall. But I do need to get some spacers on this too.
Yeah.
I really don't like that tuck look of wheels.
Neither do I. I like where my Model S sits, where that front wheel is just right at the edge.
Yes, definitely.
And so this thing will look great. So let's run inside. Let's go see Bob. He came in on Sunday to make videos for YouTube. This dude's dedicated. Subscribe to his channel.
Absolutely.
Let's go say hi. And in we go. Hey, Bob.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
We were just telling everyone they got to subscribe to the Electric Principle.
I appreciate that.
Of course. Well, and maybe you'll even make some out-of-spec videos at some point.
I'm going to work at it.
Yeah, we were thinking, and maybe our audience can tell us if this would be beneficial. Some of them have been asking for sort of an intro to EV and intro to EV charging, how to activate certain stations. And I thought, well, you know more about this than pretty much anyone.
I'm glad to do it.
Yeah, I think that'd be super fun. So what was it like selling this crazy guy a car?
Oh, Colton's a great guy. So, you know, and the thing is that, to be honest, I took a little bit of the sales time, and he taught me about the Tesla.
Oh,
so
nice.
It was an exchange of information. I said, Colton, I don't know much about these as much as I want to, so I had him set up the Tesla that I'm going to purchase used to be just like his. So,
when have you ever been to a Volkswagen showroom and and they're like, yeah, I'm buying a Tesla?
Well, you know, I've owned a bunch of EVs. So I've owned Chevy Bolt, I've owned two ID.4s, I've owned Audi GT, I've owned a big Audi, the standard.
The fat e-tron,
fat e-tron. I've owned that. My brother Pat and I have taken Teslas all over the place because he owned a Tesla. So it's just, you know, EVs are addicting. And, you know, my goal is to own as many as I possibly can and drive as many different EVs as I can because they're just fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I've got a friend of mine, Andy Danner, who is an arch conservative. And I sold him my old e-tron. And he'll look me straight in the eye and he'll say, you know, Bob, I'm not doing this for the environment. I'm doing this because I just love driving EVs. And that's really the truth. You know, It's all about, for me, it's the performance, it's the fun, it's the quietness. I just think they're superior in everything but range.
Yeah,
That's it,
absolutely.
But otherwise, that's why we do it.
Yeah, and it's fun to go on road trips to find all the new stations and to meet people at chargers. So keep an eye on the electric principle. Link will be in the pinned comment.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I think what videos do you have coming up? I know you just did one. Actually, I watched it. I thought it was really good. You compared the charging speed of 2022 ID.4 against 2023 Chattanooga, and you saw about 190 kilowatts on the 2023.
Over that 194, I think it was.
Wow,
which is really cool.
So almost 200 kilowatts on ID.4.
Yeah. So that's a great improvement. And so, you know, I tend to try to do videos that are for people who are just kind of learning about these, that don't necessarily have all the experience in the world, because I think there's a lot of people who aren't as technologically adept as a lot of the people I work with. They're just interested in why electrics work so well and how is this going to work in my life. That's what they really want to know. If I start talking kilowatts and kilowatt hours, and you know, they don't want to know that.
Sure.
They don't. You know, and so that's a group of people. So it's, you know, I really focus on, like, for example, I'm gonna pick up a Mini on Tuesday, and I'm gonna drive that because I'm really interested in smaller cars. I might even pick up Kyle. But
we should make a video in the Cooper SE together.
And. But, you know, that's the kind of thing I'm really into, because I think they're practical, fun EVs to drive that you don't have to spend $130,000 to get.
And what are you finding with ID.4? Is there this big push for this tax credit at the end of the year for these Chattanooga cars? Are people excited?
Absolutely. I couldn't get somebody one of those if I tried right now.
Oh, really?
They're all spoken for. I've got people calling every day who would like one of those because they know for certain there's no doubt on the tax credit. And, you know, I tend to find ID.4 customers are a different kind of customer than I would normally get. By the way, we are selling way more EVs than any other car right now in this dealership.
Really? Wow.
I mean, I looked around yesterday when I was here on a Saturday. Every charger was plugged in.
Wow.
I mean, the gear has changed in the universe here. And, you know, you look at our board, I think I've got 12 cars sold this month. They're all EVs.
That's amazing.
And the closest guy behind me has 5, and maybe 2 of those are EVs. I mean, that's just, people are buying EVs in droves right now.
Amazing. And you're really the EV expert here, so hopefully some of our audience has reached out to get cars, but it doesn't sound like they'll be able to get them by year end.
Well, I've listened to a hard luck story, and one I granted.
Nice. Okay.
Somebody crashed his ID.4 like a week and a half ago. His wife, he claims that it saved her life because of all of the automatic braking systems. And he wants one just like he had for his wife. And you know what? I'm going to get him one.
Right. That's pretty cool. So if they call enough times and come up with a good enough story.
Well, you got a good enough story.
Right. So start coming up with stories.
Yeah.
You got yours just like Michaela, kind of. You just walked in. But that's the out-of-spec friends and family, right, Bob?
Yep.
Yeah.
And part of it, too, is that every VW dealer got 5 cars. Just about everyone got 5 freebies out there. And, you know, he just didn't walk in, folks. He's got a reservation. So we tend to, we want to keep that going. That if you've got a reservation and we can get you one early, we will do that. And he is part of our family here. We've known Colton for a long, long time. And so, you know, the stars aligned, and he got an ID.4.
Well, congrats.
Works perfect, yeah.
So cool. Good to see you, Bob. We'll see you on more videos coming up.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks for selling Colton this car.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's identical to Michaela's.
It is.
So we can't park them next to each other because you won't know.
Just remember to keep your car charged, and if you're running out of fuel, turn off the heat and slow down. Those 2 things will save you. You won't end up stranded on College Avenue in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Right. That was crazy.
That was a fun video, though.
I mean, hopefully it helps people. I mean, I think we were just talking outside. We're going to come up with some sort of recovery kit to keep in the vehicle. So if for whatever reason you do need a tow, or we can pull it with the Rivian, it would have saved us 5 hours if we could have just towed it.
The other thing is, like, AAA in Colorado is really good now. They're starting to put generators in the back of their vehicles, so that if that would happen to you, you just call AAA and they'll come and they'll give you a charge.
Well, that's what we did, but it's not in Fort Collins yet. It's only in Denver at the moment. But yes, they have the generators in the back.
They've only got 4.
Oh, they only have 4? Oh, really?
But it's coming.
It's coming. So, that's really cool. That would be awesome. But ultimately, I mean, I don't think you'll ever see your car running out of charge.
No, as you know how I charge.
Colton is like a charge to 100% every day kind of guy.
No. I'm an ABC guy. Always be charging. I charge the Model 3 to 90% daily. This is going to get charged to 80% daily.
And I'm like, maybe my cars are usually about 30% all the time. I'm all about longevity, even though I don't keep my cars.
Exactly.
I guess I'm starting to keep them longer. But there you go, your new ID.4. Big thanks to Ed Carroll. Big thanks to you, Bob. Appreciate everything.
My pleasure.
And always just a fun, quick video, just so everyone knows you'll be driving in that. Can't wait to see the modifications. I think that I kind of want next. That is pretty sick. See you on another one soon. Bye-bye.